Hello and welcome to The Explainer. This is where we break down complex topics into presentations that are clear and hopefully pretty engaging.
So, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about the super popular Pakistani drama Meri Zindagi Hai Tu, and it kicks off with this just explosive and aggressive line between the two main characters, Ayra and Kamyar. Right from this one moment, you know exactly what this story is going to be about. Class, power, and yeah, a whole lot of obsession. So here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. We're going to start with how they first meet, then we'll look at the classic formula this show uses. From there, we'll trace how things just escalate like crazy, get into the big family conflicts, and then wrap it all up with a look at the ending and, well, a big question it leaves us with.
All right, let's get into it. First up, we really need to understand the framework this entire story is built on.
And wow, does this drama follow that formula perfectly? I mean, right from the get-go, it sets up this huge, massive gap between Kamyar and Ayra. Not just money, but their whole social world. And you have to understand, this isn't just like background detail. It's the engine driving the entire story. Okay, so take a look at this. It just lays out the massive difference between their worlds so clearly. On one side, you've got Kamyar. His life is all about inherited power, throwing millions around like it's nothing. He's the chairman, right? But then you look at Ayra's world, and it's the complete opposite. It's all about responsibility, studying to be a doctor, and her family is constantly worried about just making ends meet.
And it's this huge class divide that really lights the fire for the rest of the story. That first angry clash, it quickly turns into this relentless, totally one-sided pursuit from Kamyar.
And when I say it escalates, I mean it escalates fast. We're talking it goes from a public fight to him literally destroying her property, trying to control her with money, and then it gets even worse. He sabotages her family's life and starts stalking her at her university. Any line between, romance and straight-up obsession? It's not just blurred, it's completely gone.
And really, it all boils down to this one line from Kamyar himself. He flat out tells Ayra that her consent doesn't matter. No is not an option for her. Think about that. This isn't him trying to win her over anymore. It's a declaration of ownership. And that's a really crucial and, let's be honest, pretty troubling part of this whole story formula.
So of course, something this intense doesn't just stay between the two of them. It was bound to happen. It blows up into this huge conflict that pulls in both of their families, setting their two very, very different worlds on a collision course.
So you have Kamyar's mother showing up to confront Ayra's family. And what's amazing is what she's worried about. It's not Ayra's safety. It's not even her son's toxic behavior. Nope. It's all about how it looks. It's about their reputation, their status. Her son's actions are a problem because they're a threat to the family's public image. But then you get this brilliant counterpunch from Ayra's father. He just cuts right through all that nonsense. He basically tells Kamyar that his power, his title, it's all inherited. He challenges him on a personal level, saying that without his family's money and name, he's worth absolutely nothing.
And these two clashing moments really spell out the main themes of the whole show, don't they? You've got wealth being used as a weapon, as a tool for control. You have this really dangerous, obsessive behavior being packaged as some kind of epic romance. And all of this is setting the stage for that classic story arc, the bad boy rich hero who has to change to prove he's worthy of the good, down-to-earth heroine.
Which brings us, of course, to the grand finale. Kamyar's big attempt to redeem himself, to change his ways, and finally win over Ayra.
But here's the thing. Kamyar's idea of changing is just more of the same but in a different package. It's another power play. He treats fixing his personality like it's a corporate hostile takeover. He's not listening or trying to understand. He's making lists, dictating terms, literally firing his own dad to take over the business, and then forcing his parents to go propose. It's all control.
And so, surprise, surprise, his grand plan completely blows up in his face. Why? Because he's using the exact same tools. Force, threats, control. He hasn't changed at all, not where it counts. And Ayra's father just hits the nail on the head. He says Kamyar's real problem isn't the partying or the lifestyle, it's that he just cannot handle hearing the word no.
So that brings us to our final big question. The story itself shows this approach fails, right? But the formula, this type of story, is still so popular. So I want to leave you with this. What is it about this idea, this narrative of an aggressive, rich guy being tamed or changed by a woman's love that we find so appealing? Why do these stories keep getting made and keep finding such a huge audience?